Hello and welcome back to another video about Blues, and I tell you what, each time I make one of these videos I'm feeling more and more positive. We've been linked with a Spanish international centre-back / CDM, so I'm going to be talking about him as well as some of our other signings. But before we get into it, I just want to give a big shout out to our sponsors over at OneFootball. Make sure you download the app, the link can be found in the description. Click on that, download it. It is the same amazing app but with a brand new design, so if you haven't seen it yet, go and click the link and download it and let me know what you think down in the comments below. Big shout out to OneFootball for supporting the channel, the best football app out there. They're supporting us, so go and support them by downloading the app. Go and check it out. If you want to see more of these kind of videos, make sure you hit that like button as well and subscribe if you're new. Hit that notification bell, but let's get into the video. Right, so I'm going to be talking about a few things in this video, but the first one is the signing of Mikel San José, which I've probably absolutely butchered. But this is an interesting one, and it's come completely out of the blue, which I guess is a positive thing. We were thinking a lot about, you know, the transfer of Jack Clark potentially coming in from Tottenham, but this has come right out of left field with what Wab like to call a Wilf bomb. Yes, it was Wilford, the Wilfster, who dropped a little banger on Twitter saying that former Spanish international Mikel San José is due for a medical today at Birmingham City. The 31-year-old defensive midfielder / centre-half is a free agent after leaving Athletic Bilbao this summer. Now, I haven't really heard of this player, but he's got 7 international caps for Spain. He's clearly a good player. He went to the Euros with them in 2016, and clearly for Birmingham, this is a bit of a coup. I think for me, I'm looking at, right, where is this player going to fit into our squad? Is he going to be thrown straight into the starting lineup? Is he going to go into centre-back, CDM? Who's coming out of that team? Is it Clayton? I don't know, but the good thing is the competition for places is healthy, and we're looking at players like David Davis, like Michael Kieftenbeld, and we're thinking we might have to move them on because we don't know if they're going to have a place in this team. Our team is strengthening, and that's what we've needed to do. And if this is another free agent, all I have to say is there's, what, £4 million spent and 9 players brought in. We've had Lecco for 1 million, Etheridge for about 2 million, and Hogan for what seems to be about 1 million. The rest free transfers who look absolute bargains the way they're playing at the minute. I'm really excited to see what we can do with the rest of this transfer window, because with this signing coming in as well, and potentially Jack Clark, we look a very strong side with a very good bench. So let's have a look into Mikel San José. Thankfully, Blues Breakdown have done a breakdown on him, and I love looking at these. If you guys haven't followed them yet on Twitter, make sure you do. It's Blues_breakdown, a lot more knowledgeable than me. So looking at the breakdown, you can see San José spent the majority of his career at Bilbao. A centre-back by trade, he converted to a defensive midfielder in the last 5 or 6 years. As a sitting midfielder, he looks to break up play before progressing the ball forward. He's got a lovely range of passing, playing short, simple layoffs or long raking balls from deep, as well as switching the play out to wide. But when we're looking at his standout stats here, he's got 81.5% pass accuracy, 5.1 interceptions per 90. I'm not sure if that's great or not, to be fair. 59% defensive duels won. So in their summary here, they're saying he would be a coup for Blues and would provide both a wealth of experience to cover the central defensive and central midfield positions, something Karanka likes. He may well have crossed paths with Karanka as a youngster in Bilbao's academy, whilst Karanka was coming to the end of his career in Bilbao's first team. Well, looking at this, 31-year-olds aren't really the ideal signing that we want to be going for. I know that. I know we want to build and get players that can have a resale value. But when you look at this and you look at the signing of George Friend and Adam Clayton, it looks like Karanka wants a mix of experience and youth in the team, and I think that is a real key to any club that wants to climb the championship. Any good club, you can't just have a team of youngsters. It's very difficult to do so because you need leaders. You need experienced players to be able to drag you out when you're losing, when you're 1-0 down. Players that can turn you around, that can motivate you. And, you know, you've got 2 players with George Friend and Adam Clayton that have experienced promotion through Karanka. You've got San José here, who's a very, you know, experienced international for Spain, played for Bilbao, you know, for 10 years. Wealth of experience, and people will look up to him, and it's a bit more of the Spanish flair that we're used to. I mean, not flair from this particular guy, but the Spanish Armada is arriving. For me, it's a good choice. I don't know what his wages are going to be. That would be the only thing that would potentially worry me. Don't know how long his contract's going to be, but hopefully it's like a 1-year rolling contract. Maybe at 1 with a 1-year option would be really good for us. You know, it's all about if we can afford his wages and we're being sustainable. That's the key thing, and we can also, alongside that, bring in players that are going to develop over over time. I think we've got a good system. I think we've seen, not just from this summer's spending, but in terms of last summer and the way we spent money last summer. Yes, we had a couple of flops or whatever, but we didn't spend as much money, and we had a few players that really grew. Bella being one of them, Crowley, for example, players that weren't brought in for a lot of money but are doing really well. So for me, it's gonna be interesting. Like, I'm not gagging for Blues to spend all the money that they've got from Che, from Bellingham as well. But I think the fact that we're building a competitive side that can, like I say, compete in this league is the key thing for me. I think squad depth has always been something that we've struggled with. When you're looking at how we were last season, a couple of injuries and we were really worrying. But look at this team, man. We're looking really good. The only thing I could ask for potentially is, I mean, I'd say another striker, but if we bring in Jack Clark, we've got Lecco as an option to go up front if Hogan's injured. I think we're looking really solid. And for me, it's a really exciting start to the season as well. You know, we beat Brentford on the first day. We've gone to Swansea, another playoff club, and we've got a point. And I think the key thing for me, with the way that Blues are playing at the minute, is that we haven't conceded a goal this season. Back-to-back clean sheets. These are Karanka's first 2 games in charge, and we've already had back-to-back clean sheets for the first time since December 2018, almost 2 years. What does that say to you? It says that is exactly what Karanka is here to do. We're not going to be smashing teams 5-0, no, but we're tightening up at the back. We've got quality, and that's what we're going to go into next. We're going to be talking about Scotty Hogan, but before we do, what do you think of our transfer window? That's what I want to know from you down in the comments below. So far, what would you rate it out of 10? Now, for me, it's pretty much up there. I know we haven't spent a mad amount of money, but we've been smart with it, and we've made good signings and made ourselves competitive again. And that's what I want to see. I want to be able to watch Blues and think, you know what, we could win this game. And I think the way we're playing, we could go to any game in this league, any game, and potentially win it, or at least frustrate them and get a point. And I think that's the difference this season. So I'm excited to see what we can do over the course of a few seasons. But let's hope it don't all fall apart. So next up, we're going to talk about Scotty Hogan. He's signed a 4-year deal with Blues, which shows a lot of commitment from our side there. We're going to be having him till he's 32. From what I'm hearing, it doesn't seem like we've spent a lot of money on him at all. I was aware that there was some sort of clause in his loan deal, but it seems like we might have actually got him for a bit cheaper. I'm not sure what his wages are. That would be the only thing that could potentially worry me, especially on a 4-year deal. Hopefully it's based on appearances in some way and goals, and not just a flat out, you know, 40k contract. But what I can say with this signing is it's definitely worth the gamble. If he's not on mad wages, I think it's clearly a striker that when he's confident, he can score goals. He's got that natural goal scoring instinct. And now if he was like that 100% of the time, yeah, he'd be worth 15 million. You know, we've got someone who can come off the bench and nick you a goal. He can start up top with Duke and play well, and him and Duke have proven that they can play well together. It's that being able to change the game, being able to have a plan B. We've got a number of options off the bench now, and I think you just have to look at his run of form before lockdown to see why this is a valuable signing and why it's worth the risk of bringing him back. Personally, I'm really happy with it. I know he didn't perform after lockdown. I know he lacked confidence. He was frustrating to watch at times, let's be honest. But who in that team wasn't hard to watch? Who in that team wasn't lacking confidence? Who in that team wasn't absolutely Bellingham. Bellingham was probably, from memory, Bellingham was the only player after lockdown really had the attitude to pull through. And that's why he's doing what he's doing at Borussia Dortmund right now. There was a number of things that went wrong after lockdown for Blues, but this is a clean slate. Even the likes of Dong have got a clean slate, and I think it's a good signing for Blues. I hope that he can score a few goals this season. But even without that, I don't think in this sort of setup we have to rely on one striker to be getting 20 goals a season or something, because we are going to be a lot tighter at the back. We're going to be getting goals from all over the pitch. We've seen this in Karanka teams before. You know, I'm pretty sure they got promoted where their striker scored 8, maybe 9 goals in the season, because correct me if I'm wrong, but the goals were coming from all over the pitch. And we certainly have players in this squad that can score goals. So I'm going to be very excited to... So I'm very excited to see where we're going to go with this. Also, it was great to see the likes of Neil Etheridge starting for Blues. Zach Gcock had a great game against Brentford, but it was good to see him come in. We've got this goalkeeper that we can have faith in now that are, you know, with all due respect to Lee Camp, he was brought in because we couldn't afford anyone any better, and he gave his all for Blues, and I'll always love him for that. But with Neil Etheridge, we've got someone here who, our back line can be confident that, you know, there's not really going to be many errors. You know, they're going to be solid behind them, safe pair of hands that can go through the squad, that level of confidence. You know, if you're comfortable with your back line, you're going to be able to play with a bit more confidence, play a bit more openly. So yes, like I say, I'm quite excited to see how Blues are going to do this season. I still think we can't get ahead of ourselves this season, but we've set ourselves up to not, at the very least, not have to worry about a relegation battle again, and be able to progress from there. Because we've had so many years of not being able to do anything like that. It's just, I'm actually feeling quietly optimistic about Blues for the first time in a long time, and I truly hope that Dong has learnt his lesson, that there's nothing else going on. You know, he's interacting with the fans and stuff, which is amazing to see. He's being able to be self-aware, which is, again, a really good thing. So I hope there's more of that to come, and we can have a bit of a laugh. And let's just see where it goes, guys. But that's it from me anyway. I just wanted to give a little update on how I felt about Blues right now. 4 points on the board. Let's see how long we can stay around the top 6 for, eh? I know we're going to finish roughly mid-table, but hey, let's have a laugh, shall we? Anyway, that's it from me, guys. Don't forget to download OneFootball. The link is down in the description. Go and check it out and let me know what you think. Let's hope there's some more exciting signings coming on our way, and let me know what you thought of the transfer window down in the comments below. But without further ado, I'll see you next time. Keep right on.